Hey, everybody. Happy Thursday. Welcome to the MamaPreneur podcast. My name is Robin. Thank you all for joining us this evening for episode number 5. Wow, I can't believe we made it so far to episode number 5. So, thank you guys for rocking with us each second and fourth Thursday. Tonight, we're highlighting two entrepreneurs today and their respective lines of work, and I can't wait to showcase them today and for them to be a blessing to you guys. So thank you all so much for joining us tonight. We have Crystal Wright-Adams and Jennifer Quinn, and so we'll get to them in just a little bit about what they do, and I hope that they'll be able to help you in any shape, form, or capacity. So um, this is an interactive podcast, so before you go any further, share. If you're on YouTube, if you're on Facebook, share the live, share the replay. And I'm doing a contest tonight for a few prizes. So if you share this podcast, make sure you actually share it out. We'll know if you shared it. And then once you share it, type it in tonight's comments with the hashtag MamaPreneur podcast. Okay. So share this live and type in the comments Mamapreneur podcast so you can get entered into the contest. We'll do a drawing after tonight's podcast, and then we will reach out to our winners individually and go from there. So thank you for joining us tonight. Also, we like to keep it interactive. So this is also a form for networking. If you are an entrepreneur, please type in the comments or tag the name of your business in the comments, whether it's the link to your business, Facebook, Instagram, regular website, whatever. Type that in the comments. You never know who your business could help. So this is all about networking. So the purpose of this podcast is to help entrepreneurs. Of course, it's near and dear to me for female entrepreneurs, but to be able to help and bless other entrepreneurs. If you're wanting to be an entrepreneur, hadn't taken that step of faith yet, if you are I like to call it baby in the game, you're just kind of getting your feet wet, just kind of getting in there, or for the seasoned vets, you can still be a seasoned vet in this game and still need help because trends are constantly changing. So we know that firsthand. You can do a business from your phone now, where 10 years ago you probably couldn't. So here we are. So make sure you are sharing because, again, this podcast could help someone. Well, a little bit about me. My name is Robin. I am born and raised in Dallas, Texas, Oak Cliff, Texas. I am a member of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated. I hold a MBA from Kaplan University. I am a paralegal by day, but also a serial entrepreneur. Outside of all that, I have a salon in the Dallas area. I am in multi-level marketing, a distributor with Total Life Changes, a health and wellness brand that's been around since 1999, home of the NutriBurst, best liquid multivitamin out there. Which we hit a year this month that I've been a distributor with them. Have been a distributor with Mary Kay Cosmetics for the past 13 years, and am distributor with Paparazzi Jewelry. Hold on, I always like to model each episode. Look at the necklace. Thank you, girl. Close up. That's what I'm talking about. Close up. Okay. Yes. We're gonna. What did I say last episode? Stunting and fronting. Yes, honey. So that's a little bit about me, and I just have a passion for helping other entrepreneurs, female entrepreneurs, because someone has helped me, and people are still helping me to this day with business. I ain't the guru of business, but hey, I know a little something. And I am proud to bring ladies on each show to showcase them and their businesses. Again, someone did it for me, and so I like to be able to pass that on and pay it forward to others. So Don't forget to tag your businesses in the comments, because I'm always looking to spotlight other female entrepreneurs. So yeah. Um, well, I would like to introduce do our first spotlight, and both of these ladies I have a personal relationship with. So I'm going to start with Miss Jennifer Quinn. So Jennifer and I met through a group called Manifestor Daily, which is led by a girlfriend of mine who attends my church. It is her platform, and she broke everyone up into kind of manifestor partners, which is kind of group up to kind of get to know each other. It's a big platform, but I know it has to be over 500-600 people. It's probably more than that. But yeah, it's a lot of people within the platform, and they paired Jennifer and I up, and we've just bonded and clicked so far, and just we talk about each other's journeys. And so Jennifer is going to bring a little something different to tonight's podcast, because she's into content creating. And so a little bit about her. She is from Jackson, Mississippi, currently residing in the Atlanta, Georgia area. She worked as a digital content creator, also while working in corporate. You know, ain't nothing wrong with doing two things at once. Uh, um, so as a content creator, she enjoys being an inspiration while sharing things about her lifestyle, her family, fashion, beauty, travel, and most of all, faith. She is a huge advocate for Christ and his kingdom.
Amen.
She previously worked managing a music production company created by her brother, as she helped navigate his business in music publishing for over 15 years. And he's created some great records and is still currently producing. But right now, she's in the process of working on a faith and lifestyle blog, as she connects as community and share experiences with other women. So, you all, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce you, Jennifer Quinn. Welcome, sis.
Welcome. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So, kind of shed light on what made you want to go into content creating, because content creating is, that's a lot of hats within one realm. And so of
Yeah.
course you see that a lot
Mhm.
in business. Your content is everything. Your content can either bring you customers, or it can, nobody don't want to look at your stuff, one of the two. So talk about that.
I just like inspiring. I love creating content. I love marketing. To me, content creating is a form of marketing as well. Products that I use, of course, or anything that I'm using or buying, I like to share it with others. And I just feel like I'm good at doing that.
Yeah. With content creating, kind of share with everybody, like some companies you kind of, I put you down as a brand ambassador, because it's still kind of, I think kind of what you do kind of ties into that a little bit. So kind of tell the people, like, what companies you kind of help with their branding a little bit.
I've worked with TJ Maxx. Worked with Reward Style. It's like to know it on Instagram. I've done the Goalie Gummies, and I have another new partnership. I can't mention that name that's coming up, so look out for that. But I'm getting ready to shoot a campaign for that as well.
Okay. Now, what made you want to get started into content creating? What made you like, what, man, I want to get into that? What
I,
made you kind of do that?
I'm, I love fashion. I love beauty. And it's just something. I'm a people person. I love interacting with people. It's just something that I enjoy doing, and so I just feel like I fit that. You know, scope of work as far as putting
Okay.
content, creating content and putting it out.
Okay. Awesome. And kind of share for people, so the person that doesn't know what that means, what content creating, what all does that entail? Like,
Pretty much like if you're doing content, you may be just like doing it for a blog, or news, YouTube, or whatever. You're pretty much doing that niche. You're bringing the customer back. Like it's like you're doing creating content to bring the customer back. continue, to continue to bring the customer back. You keep the customer coming back is what I meant to say. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and you just, you can just create forms of content so in so many different ways,
Okay.
whatever niche, of your audience.
What has been the biggest challenge of being a content creator? All fields, all forms, there's always some type of challenge.
Just being creativity. I think it's oversaturated as well. So you got it's a lot of competition out there, with content creating. And so you just have to be, creative, you know, more
In
so than,
that realm.
yeah, right, exactly.
Okay. Who would you say is your biggest inspiration behind what you do? What is your biggest inspiration? I mean, behind what you do, besides bringing the customer back, because that's great. Because everybody used to, doing this number here with their shopping. You can go to Amazon, you can go, Fashion Nova for the Fashion Nova lovers. You can do all your shopping right here now. So as
Right.
far as your content, you wanting to do content creation, like what was the biggest inspiration behind that?
Oh, just being an inspiration, just being an inspiration. And just, I enjoy doing it and just being an inspiration to others,
Yeah.
something that, interacting with people is something that I've always been able to do. So,
Yeah. You so sociable. You social butterfly, you. Uh, what advice would you give someone that wants to kind of get into that realm? They don't know quite how to start. What advice would you kind of?
just go for it, go for it. It doesn't have to be perfect, just start, and, just, just try to be creative, create the best content, don't look at
Yeah.
others, what they're creating. You just,
Okay. Cool. Cool. Do your own thing. Amen. I got you.
yeah.
I got you. What was I gonna ask you? We talk a little bit about you helping your brother out with his music, being in the music business.
Mhm.
Um, Kind of expound on that a little bit, like what you do as far as assisting him with his business.
Just pretty much, yeah, assistant. He has a publishing company. Of course, he started at age 15 with a publishing company, his first publishing company. And, um, I just pretty much helped to manage his business, his career, and, just corresponding with different label executives, having to be able to write the perfect email, construct the perfect email, and just network and just making sure all of his documents were straight,
Got
and
it.
it's a business that has to be run. You have to have a team. You got to have the right team, behind it, and that's what we did, and that's why he has the gift, but he's as successful as he is today because he had a team, with him. So
Awesome. Talk about some of the roadblocks with that. I know there has to be some roadblocks even with the music business. It can be so tricky, especially if you're not around the right people.
yeah, you got to
You
have
know.
right, exactly, and you just you have to be around the right people. You have to have work ethic. You have to have the passion for it, to do it. The passion and the drive to want to do it, and it's got to be something that you love to do, just like any other business.
Right. Right. Now you talk about a little bit in your bio. You talk about your faith a little bit. How does your faith and your business sense, how does that go hand in hand?
Oh, it's what's guided us. It's what's guided me through the journey. I tell people I'm an influencer for Christ first
That's
and
right.
foremost, and I'm an influencer for Him first, and everything else falls in line, and that's what has kept us, and steered us in the right direction. So
Amen.
I've never gotten away from that, you know, just
And
what I
you,
grew up on. So yeah.
yeah. And you mentioned that you want to start So is it a blog? What do you want to start? Like your lifestyle,
It's like
faith
a
based?
lifestyle faith-based blogs. I see a lot of blogs out there, but nothing about like just faith, tying faith into a blog as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just want to try something different.
Okay. So have you actually started? You started working on that this year, or is it something kind of just later? Or
I started a little bit later, yeah, than I was supposed to, but I am working on it. It's in the
okay,
process. So,
okay. I'm so proud of you. Just so proud of you. Well, cool. I'm gonna move on to the fabulous Crystal. Thank you, Jennifer. We'll be talking more here in a second with you, darling. So the fabulous Crystal Wright-Adams. So Crystal and I's relationship, we worked at a great company called Countrywide Home Loans, aka Bank of America Home Loans. Back in the day, back in the heyday, back when you can get your house at 100% financing with no problems. Okay. And so Crystal and I worked in the same department, became friends, and just, even did her hair, back in the day. And she left us and moved down to San Antonio, Texas. And she's doing big things.
Yes.
Insurance is her line of business, but she, has other things going on. And so I'm going to do a quick intro for her. Crystal lives in San Antonio, Texas, with two amazing sons. They are so cute, and our babies are growing up before our eyes. Jesus. How old are your two?
They'll be 9.5 and 8 here in a couple of months.
And then mine going on 12. So we've been around for each other's babies. That should let you know how long that's been, my Lord. Um, Her passion for community and service led her to co-found a teenage girls outreach ministry called Caterpillars to Butterflies with two of her closest friends and sisters in Christ. She still actively mentors several young ladies, both within and outside of her home church. She has a bachelor's degree in communication studies from the University of Texas in San Antonio, a graduate certificate in pastoral counseling from Liberty University. Crystal loves Jesus, her family, and basketball. Yes, she does. Go Dubs, she
Go
says.
Dubs.
Lord. She can often be found having a movie night with her sons or watching any level of competitive basketball. I do remember that about you and being around you when you were here. Her writing is also featured in an anthology called She Changed Her Narrative, which is currently available through Amazon and Barnes and Nobles. And Crystal has a book out right now. God, I lost my page. What's the name of your book, babes? I'm sorry.
Perversion of Love.
Yes. So,
Understanding the enemy's attack on your love language.
yes. So, great segue. Tell us about the book, Honey Bunch. Tell us what made you want to write this book and, just a little bit more detail.
Sure, absolutely. So, first of all, I'll just be very honest and transparent and tell you that I had no desire to write this book. When the Lord gave me this book to me, probably about 3 years ago, if not more, I was like, me? Crystal? No, that's not for me. And so it took me a really long time to get to the point where I felt that I would be able to write a book and actually market it and be successful with that. And so the book is about love languages, and it basically talks about how our parent-child relationship and how we receive love through that parent-child relationship affects how we give, receive, and perceive love as adults, and connecting it to the importance of understanding that and overcoming that so that you can learn to love yourself, because you can't love your neighbor, which is what God calls us to do, love him and love our neighbors, if you don't understand how to love yourself. Mm-hmm. And I believe that God calls those the greatest commandments, loving God and loving your neighbor, because love is how we fulfill the Great Commission, which is spreading the gospel.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
what was I going to say? How did you get your book published? Like, tell me about that process. Was that a long, draining process? Were you able to, did you have connections? How did that go? Every author I know, everybody got a story.
So this one is actually pretty smooth sailing when it came to my book. Like Jennifer said, when it came to this book, especially because I really didn't want to do it, I didn't believe that I was qualified to do it. The subject matter is a little sensitive and vulnerable and transparent. And so there were some, reservations when it came to that. So every step of the way, I prayed. Like before I put a pen to paper, I prayed. Before I put my fingertips to the keyboard, I prayed. And I just said, Lord, I give this to you. You called me to do this for whatever reasons you see fit. And this is your book. It's not my book. And even though my name is on the front of the book, this is God's book. And so I said, Lord, this is your book, and make the way straight. If this is what you wanted to happen, then you make the way straight. And so I had actually, as I was working on the anthology, my friend Antronetta Tillman, hey Antronetta, if you're watching, she put that together, and I kind of helped her and walked through that publishing process with her, and she kind of self-published, and it was exhausting, it was draining, it was stressful, okay? And I said, oh Lord, no, not for me. I said, you called me to write, not to publish, not to market. Let me remind you. So when it came to this, my sister actually recommended, and I think my mom might have as well, so shout out to y'all if y'all are watching as well, to look at Christian Faith Publishing. And so I prayed, I submitted my request to them. They called me the next day. The contact that I was working with said, hey, send me your manuscript. I sent it to her, and a week later, the board approved it and they wanted to publish the book. So that was nothing but God. And I realized, having gone through what I went through with the anthology, that's not the normal process that everyone goes through with publishing a book.
Got it. Okay, we got a question, and I'm going to ask this. This is everybody's question. So before I ask the question, I may know the 5 love languages. I want you to tell everybody the love languages, the 5 love languages. And then once you're done telling me that, Jennifer, I'll go over my love language. Crystal, you tell us your love language as well, because that's the question.
Okay. So the 5 love languages are going to be words of affirmation, acts of service, gifts, physical touch, and oh Lord, hold on a second. Let me get my book, because now you put me on the spot.
Hold on.
Quality time.
I'm going down the list here.
How did I forget my own love language? Lord have mercy.
It happens. So quality time is yours.
Quality time is my primary love language. Yes.
Got it. Okay, Jennifer, what's yours?
Let me see. Is communication one of them?
Words of affirmation, maybe.
Words of affirmation.
Yeah. Words of affirmation. Let's see. Hold on. Words of affirmation. Hold on. 1 second. Quality time.
Yeah.
Quality time is definitely one.
Yeah.
What's the third one? What's the list? Sorry.
So words of affirmation, acts of service, quality time, physical touch.
Yeah, physical touch. Yeah, acts of service.
Gifts.
And gifts.
Yeah. My top 2 are acts of service and quality time. Those are my top 2. I took the test and I was like, oh, okay. There's a test. That test is like a Scantron test, baby. I felt like you needed a Scantron. Scantron for the love languages test, girl. I was like, okay, this is interesting, because it's, it's asking you, if you ever take the test, it's asking you all these questions to kind of pinpoint which is your top one. And so, yeah, a lot of questions. Okay. Again, I just felt like I needed a Scantron and some scratch paper once we finished, just saying. So acts of service. Okay, you said quality time, Jen.
Yeah, quality time.
Words of affirmation.
Yeah.
Okay, nothing wrong with that. And I will ask you the same question, Crystal. what advice would you give someone if they're wanting to kind of write a book? Like they're thinking about it, quite hadn't done it yet. What advice would you give someone, that wants to be an author?
My biggest advice is just that writing a book, it's sharing a testimony, right? Obviously, there's different types of books you can write. You can write fiction, nonfiction, but when a lot of times my goal in writing this book, or what I'm hoping will come, what will come to fruition, is helping people. And the Bible says that we overcome the enemy by the blood of the Lamb, Jesus Christ. That's what I believe, and the word of our testimony.
Yes.
And so a lot of us think because maybe we're not linguistically talented. Oh Lord, that didn't even sound right. Linguistically talented, or we don't know like SAT words or things like that, right? That we are not qualified to write a book. We don't have doctor in front of our name. We don't have, Esquire or whatever behind our name. We feel like we're unqualified to speak on something. And that's what the enemy wants us to do, is to live in that darkness, because he knows if you share your testimony, somebody else can be freed by that, because they'll say, I'm not alone. And that's what I hope the book does. So every person, and especially if you have a desire, you feel the itch or the call, which we would call the Holy Spirit, nudging you towards writing a book, then lean into it and be obedient. And it's hard. It is hard. Trust me, I know. But if you surrender that thing to God and you allow him to use you and your testimony, it will be a blessing not only for you, but it will bless others. So that would be my biggest advice, is know that you have something to share and lean into it.
Amen. It's funny you say that about nudge. God has a funny way of nudging you. There's something that you may be running from, especially like a field you want to get into, what have you, and you run from it. And he has a funny way of nudging you, or finding the people to put in your life to give you that nudge or that push. So it's interesting you say that, with your book. So with, your book and stuff. So great. Before I go into some discussion topics, don't forget to share this podcast today. If you're watching it live or the replay, make sure you're sharing it and typing #MamaPreneur podcast in the comments, so you can get automatically entered into a drawing for some prizes. Who don't like prizes? So free stuff,
Come on.
So Crystal's going to be giving away a couple copies of her book, and then I'll have a giveaway as well. So this book will bless your life. So yes. So my first topic I kind of want to talk to you ladies about is, don't be afraid to start small when it comes to starting your business. Your business doesn't have to be some grandiose idea, with grandiose goals. You can come in and set some realistic stuff. You ain't got to really, go all out and go crazy. Sometimes you lose money trying to go all grand. What about you, ladies? What about you, Jennifer? What do you think? Not starting your business, it's okay to start small. What are your thoughts?
I think starting small is good. It prepares you. I think starting small, it grows any business. It prepares you. It gives you the opportunity to give the business time to grow. It gives you opportunity to make mistakes, to fail enough, before you can, that business can be successful, So I think starting small is a great thing. Don't be afraid to start small, because in the end, it like I said, it prepares you for that next level, to where you can thrive, have many years of just thriving in your business. So
what about you, Crystal?
I would agree with Jennifer, and I'm not here to preach to y'all all night, but the Bible it's alive and it's
say what you say.
So, the word says that do not despise the days of small beginnings, because the Lord desires to see the work begin. And like Jennifer said, I think that it's in that small space, in those beginning stages, where he really builds our character. He makes sure that our shoulders are broad enough to carry the weight of the calling that he has for us. He allows us to make mistakes under the covering of, not having everyone's eyes looking at you, right? And so if you never start small, and I think there's two detriments to that. One is that you don't have the chance to fail in private, so you can hone your skills and present a polished product when you do have the platform. But the other detriment is that sometimes we use being small or not wanting to start small as an excuse to never begin. And so
Right.
sometimes we'll
Wow.
say, oh, because I'm not, quitting my job today and, starting a publishing company tomorrow and everyone's going to know my name. If it's not going from point A to point Z automatically, we say, oh, well, that's not for me, or that's not what God called me to do. It's like, no, baby, you got 24 more letters in the middle of that. B, C, D, E, F, before you get to Z. So don't be afraid to start small, because a lot of times if you don't start small, you'll never start to begin with.
Yeah. And it's a process. Had a conversation with someone recently who was wanting to start their business. They do like shirts and all kind of calligraphy, all kind of stuff. And so she was scared to start. She's just been doing it for friends and family. And I'm like, girl, get out there and do it. And it's okay to fail. You have to trust the process, because it is a process. It is going to always be a process. Whether you're starting out, whether you've been doing it a few years, it is still a process in business to try to be able to not only start it, to keep that thing going. So don't be afraid to start small. It is really okay. And baby steps. It is so okay with baby steps. And something I noticed that some business owners do, they're afraid to start small because they're comparing what they are doing, what they have going, to other businesses that have, again, they have a story too. So it's been, you don't know the backstory of how long it took them to get to the bigger space, the better space that they're in today. So baby steps, guys. Baby steps. Anybody else have anything to share on starting small?
You just go through enough trial and error, too. Just trial and error. Yeah.
Girl, yeah. That's another show. Yeah, in itself. And next topic is gonna piggyback a little bit on what we're talking about. It's never too late to start your business. This pandemic has started a lot of businesses of all ages, but I've seen more businesses be created for people in their 50s, 60s, 70s. One of my clients who is 70 just started a consulting business. People are starting businesses 50s, 60s, 70s, 40s, what have you. This pandemic, a lot of layoffs and stuff came with this pandemic. So people had to go do what they had to do. I always talk about food on this podcast. You need to go make you some cookies, or make you some cookies to make you some money. Holla at your girl. I'll probably take your cookies anyway. Neither here nor there. But businesses have started and flourished throughout this past year, especially with the pandemic. And what, again, I talked about it early. You can do your business from your phone. You can start a business from your phone if you wanted to, especially online boutique, so on and so forth. So I always always like to encourage, do not let your age determine if you should start your business. Just do it. If God put it in your heart to do it, pray to him, he'll lead the way, and you just do it. Be like Nike and just do it. So, and I say also, take that pressure off of yourself from starting that business late in life. You do you, you start your business at 65, hell, you started it at 65. Okay. What about you, Crystal?
Yeah, I totally agree. In my day job, I'm actually a small business insurance underwriter. And so, to your point, during this pandemic, one of the beautiful things that I've been able to witness is so many people taking the leap to start their business. And it's interesting because it feels like sometimes it takes something as drastic and even tragic, as a pandemic or something like that, to really help us gain perspective and understand, like, man, this is not what I have a passion for. Like, I should be doing this, right? And so being able to help business owners who are in their 60s and 70s and or our age, or even younger ones. Like, I wrote a policy for a
Yep.
young lady in Texas the other day, 16 years old, bought a vending machine and is starting her own business. I was like, that is so dope. Like, first of all, I need to have my
Wow.
plan, but like, that's her business plan. And I just, from that age to older, I've seen so many people start it. And it's not about when you start, it's about what God is calling you to do and the quality of the work that you're doing. And a lot of times when you do start it later in life, you have a ton of wisdom and experience that you're able to draw from to even if it's not in the same industry, you have just real life experience. You've hopefully learned how to talk to people, how to communicate, how to interact with others, things of that nature. And those are the foundations that keep your business sustainable. And so you really have a good foundation, even when you start young, or excuse me, start
Later
later.
in life. I think patience too. You have a whole new level of patience, versus folks our age. You're like, oh, that can go a little faster.
Right.
Somebody maybe in their, 50s, 60s, 70s, they, may have a little bit more patience, with the process. So that's good. What about you, Jen?
It's never too late to start a business. I agree. I think it's also important to start the right business. Because it's easy for people to start a business, but you got to start the right business. And figure out what you want out of it. What are you? What's the gift? What's the passion? What are you? What business are you starting? Are you looking for something long term? To make, to have freedom from this business, or are you looking for a fly by night success? So it's just
Got it.
important to me to, start the right business. Just really think about what you want to, what type of business you want to start so that you can, have success from it.
Okay. Also, we have a question in the comments about long-term goals. So, what are your long-term goals, ladies?
Oh, I'll let Crystal go first.
My long-term goals right now, the biggest, more immediate is I have, and I know we'll probably talk about this later, but you mentioned co-founding a community organization, a mentoring group for teenage girls. And so in the more immediate future, goal is to turn that into a nonprofit organization, and to hopefully be able to either start our own academy, or to partner with local school districts to have a mentoring relationship with the girls in those schools. And then a little bit longer term is I've decided I think I want to start my own publishing company. Um,
Oh,
yeah, having gone through the process
Okay.
of publishing this book, as well as walking through the process with the anthology, I want to be the person that somebody, or the company that somebody can come to and trust their testimony and their story with, and be able to walk them through that,
Yeah.
and with care and love and sound advice, and not just from a transactional standpoint, but somebody
Got
to
it.
help walk them through that journey. And so I think that's my long-term goal.
Okay. You can do it, sister. You can do it. I believe in you, girl.
Thank
I
you.
believe in you. All right, Jen. Long-term goals.
freedom.
Clearly, child. I know you a mess, freedom.
You're gonna
Yeah,
answer. I'm gonna answer freedom. That's what I'm looking for. Freedom.
that financial freedom. That's
Yeah.
freedom. Hey, freedom from the man. I'm being funny now. Freedom from the man. What does that mean? Just
Just something sustainable. To where I don't
got it.
want to. I want to have a life too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't just want to run a business. I want to have a life outside of a business. And
Okay.
just freedom. When I say freedom, I talk about yeah, just being financially secure all the way around. Yeah.
Amen to that.
Hmm.
Okay. I'll go for me. For little old me. Well, of course, I've been in the beauty industry for over 23 years. So one of my long-term goals is to own my own men's grooming salon. Yes, you do women's hair and all that stuff, but I love the fellas, love it. If I didn't go to cosmetology school in high school, I would have went to barber school.
Yeah.
So one of my long-term goals is to own my own, kind of like an upscale barbershop, if you will. Yeah. So that's one of my long-term goals.
I like
And to do something in real estate, because I have the mortgage background, 15 years in mortgage background. So something with real estate, investing, something along those lines. You know, we always looking for opportunity and seeing a little money. So, you know, I'm with you on financial freedom. Ain't nobody got time to be in debt. Sorry. So that would be me. So yeah, you know, God willing. So, you know, I
You
said it
got it,
now,
sis.
Lord. So now if
You
he,
got it, sis.
if he is in agreement, if he is
Touch
in
and
agreement with
agree.
me, you know, that'll work. You know, hold on, Crystal, put that
Yeah,
hand back
you
up.
touching and agreeing.
Touch and agree.
Okay.
Crazy. Okay, so next, finding your niche in business. That is always a tough one for people if they're starting in business. You know, sometimes in business, if they're already kind of in it, finding what their niche is. I had a friend talk about me because I do a lot of services, but I know the ones that I that are like my favorite that out of all. And so, you know, we'll one day narrow it down, but you know, we ain't quite there. But anyway, finding your niche in business. Everybody has that one thing that they're good at. I mean, I'm gonna talk about cookies again. Cookies, cakes, pies. I'm craving sweets right now. I want
Listen.
sweets. Trying to lose weight before this birthday trip, but I'm hungry and I want cake. Anyway, neither here nor there. But everybody has something they're good at. Okay, Jen with content creation, Crystal with nonprofit. Well, we claim a nonprofit. Author. We got people that are really good at counseling. You know, everybody has their niche, and it's just finding what that is, especially if you are starting your business. Your niche is more about your passion versus dollar signs. So if you can determine what that is, that helps you go a long way. And Jennifer kind of touched on that a minute ago, as far as, you know, fly by night or your passion. It helps you determine who and what your target audience is. Like, you know, your people is what I like to call them. You know, who are your people? Especially in saturated markets. I work in a very saturated market. Hair is very saturated. Anybody can do a haircut. Now, is it the right haircut? It's gonna look good, or is it gonna look ratchet? One of the two. You know, you gotta determine, you know, and stand out, you know, amongst a saturated market. What do you guys have to share? Jennifer, what do you have to share on finding your niche in business? What does that look like?
Something that's really your passion. I mean, you have to eat, sleep, and you know it's got to be your passion. Something that you know, even if you didn't get paid to do it, that you love it. You know.
Yeah. Okay. Krista.
I agree. You know, what are you gifted at? What comes naturally to you or easier to you than what does to the next person, right? Something that you're passionate about, that it's not a chore for you to do. And then also to be very honest with yourself about the things that you're not great at, right? Because so many people get in a space where they're like, I'm going to do the X, Y, and Z because that's what they see selling. That's what they see as marketable. That's what they see getting all the dollars. But God didn't grace you for that. He didn't create you to do that. He created you to bake cakes, like Robin said, right? So be the best cake baker you can be, and let the quality of your work and the customer base that you build kind of do that marketing. And I think it'll be natural. God will naturally open up more avenues. It all comes together. We talked about starting small, never being afraid to start too late, and then finding that niche. It all works together in that process for you to get to the place that God ultimately called you to be. And so just, being honest with yourself, not only honest with yourself about where your limitations are, and I hate to speak that because you can build a skill set, but some people are gifted to do things, right? Like you can build a skill, but some people just possess gifts that nobody can do it better than them. But also be honest with yourself about what you're great at, man. Like, sis, you're a rock star. What? Like, yes, I created that content. Yes, honey, me, TJ Maxx, come see me. Yes, I did.
Come see me.
Yes, come see me. Like, I know I'm good at it, right? And that's something that I had to kind of overcome. Like, I know I can write. I know I have that gift. Did I think I was qualified to write this book? No, but I know I can write. So I'm going to use the gift God gave me, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I thought about this topic as far as, kind of one of the reasons why when this podcast was brought to me, like, man, what do you want to talk about? And I was like, you know what? Business, entrepreneurs, and being able to help other entrepreneurs or potential entrepreneurs and be able to kind of help them in navigating, the avenues of business, because it's so tricky and so much, and you're not going to learn it all in one run. It takes time. And so that kind of brought, this question on, about your niche and finding it. And this is, this has been so cool. Yeah. All right. So the next topic, I'm going to put this over to Jen. So content creation versus influencer. Talk about that.
Okay. So content creation is just someone who's responsible for the contribution of information to any media or digital media. That can be news, you can do a blog, social media updates or whatever. And like I said, I think I spoke on that. Just, you keep the audience coming back, for more. You can create content on so many levels. There's so many different ways that you can create content. Versus an influencer is just pretty much that you're, what did I say? You're affecting the purchasing decision, of others. So you play a big part in the purchasing decision of others, whether it's, you're influencing someone to buy a specific product or purchase a product or whatever, you're a big influence on that. And you do that, your audience, whatever audience.
Yeah. What do you feel about that market? Because that is we just got through talking about saturated market. Everybody named mama, daddy, cousin, brother, sister is an influencer today. If you could take a picture, hold please. Right now. You know what I'm saying? Well, hold please. I can do this right now and take a freaking picture, and we're an influencer today. Hey, drink some Sam's purified drinking water. I am an influencer. I'm like, man, everybody influencer, somebody lashes, somebody lipstick. You can be an influencer. Everybody will take a picture and put some hashtags on that thing and be like, yeah, I'm an influencer today. Just saying, everybody, I think it's so popular. But I pointed this out tonight to the difference, because some people can think they both collide. They're kind of the same. There is a difference. And so I wanted you kind of to shed a little bit more light on it, because you that's your realm, girl, content creation and things like that. Let's see, what did I put for that? So I put, as a content creator, you wear a lot of hats, which is true. I swear, you're the videographer, you the editor,
you do a lot,
you the photographer, you the makeup artist, you everything, as the content creator. And I think the same kind of with influencer as well. Only difference is you picking up somebody's product, and you hold on, do it again. You that's about it. So what about you, Crystal? Content creation versus influencer. Are you an influencer? I love you. She's like, well.
Yeah. I think that, like Jennifer said earlier, when we first started, our main goal is to be influencers of Christ. And so for me, like, as long as I am influencing in that avenue, then I consider myself an influencer. I definitely, I'm a supporter and I'm an encourager. And so I have friends who are starting businesses, who have their own businesses. You guys have your business. And I'm a big cheerleader and a supporter of what they're doing, and I want to champion what they're doing. But as far as an influencer, I think my biggest influence is the words that I write. I don't mean to keep doing my own product placement, but the words that I write in this book, because I think if I can influence somebody to see a different perspective, and that perspective allows them some sort of spiritual or emotional freedom from things that they've dealt with in their lives or in their past, then sure, I'm an influencer, for Christ. But and then do I create content? I mean, I write books. That's content.
Yes. Come on. What did you say? You're an influencer for Christ. I see a T-shirt in your future.
My
Come
best
on,
friend started a T-shirt business, so I'm gonna have to give that one to her. But I'm gonna get you a shirt where she makes one, girl. Okay.
If Jennifer Brown is watching, that's my T-shirt friend. I have more than one. Jennifer Brown. I'm putting her on blast. We're gonna get on the show one day about her business. Influencer for Christ, girl. That's a good shirt idea. You're welcome. You're welcome. Next, I want to kind of chat about maximizing your brand. What are some ways, ladies, that you can maximize your brand? Jennifer.
You just understanding your audience. You can advertise extensively. What else? Relationships. Relationships are so important in maximizing business.
Amen to that.
The right relationships, it'll take you further. It'll take you a long way, having the right relationships. Get you, creating a good website, of course. Putting more, investing back into your brand can maximize, whether you're buying new equipment for something or, taking new classes or whatever, you definitely want to invest back into the brand, and that's pretty much it. What I have.
Crystal, maximizing your brand.
Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you, girl. I think in my field of work, the biggest way you maximize your brand, and I hate thinking of it in those terms, because to me, I'm just a vessel, right? He's using me to get a message out, and my brand is Jesus. Okay, that's the brand, Jesus. That's another T-shirt. Don't take that, Jennifer, because I'm giving that one to my best
Jennifer.
Friend.
Okay? Jennifer, I hope you're writing this down, baby.
Jesus is the brand. But I think that Jennifer's point about relationships is probably the biggest way. And I see that in all areas of life, whether it's in my day job in corporate America, whether it's in the community connections that I have regarding community service and our nonprofit, soon to be nonprofit organization, or even in the publication and marketing of this book. It's all been based on relationships. And I prayed, I said, God, I'm not a marketer. I'm not a marketing guru. I don't have the energy, time, care, none of that to do this. You wanted me to write this book, so I'm gonna need you to come through, sir, with the marketing and all the other things you need. And he has been so faithful, and he has sent me people because of the relationship I have with them, because of the personal connection that we've, developed and fostered, who people are talking about my book and about me, and I'm not even in the room and not aware of it, right? And I think that's the biggest thing about your brand. It doesn't have to be a ton of marketing. It doesn't have to be a ton of influencing. If you are connected with the right people and you treat those people the right way, that will be a lot of times all the marketing and brand awareness you need. So
yeah. Also, she touched on it a little bit a minute ago about advertising and marketing your business. I'm a firm believer. If anybody follow me, they know exactly what my businesses are. Why? We advertise. I advertise a lot. I'm probably getting on some of y'all's nerves. Oh well, switch the channel. Now, Brand awareness is
I love
promoting
that.
your brand and promoting your brand on, a consistent basis. You cannot promote your stuff one day a week and then expect folks to know. So make sure you're promoting yourself and promoting good content that even drives people to your page, to your website, to your shop, to your NutriBurst. We're gonna plug NutriBurst, best multivitamin, liquid multivitamin in the world. DM me if you're interested. But um, putting your business out there, to promote it, um, post, mailers, whatever. Consistently advertising your business is a great way to maximize your brand. Newsletters, whatever it takes. Okay, so I'm a firm believer of staying on top of current trends, all of that to kind of help kind of grow and maximize your business. So, all right, ladies, this was great. Um, so that was it for our topics. I always have a some type of inspirational tip, vitamin, what have you, and or in this case, quote. This is a quote today. So my quote is train your customers on how to treat you in business. What does that mean? You gotta train folks. You gotta train folks to how to treat you. You gotta train them how to, you know, treat you in business as well, not just individually, but just in business. So you have your certain guidelines and rules, regulations, bylaws, commands, and demands. Hopefully, your customers will follow suit. Most loyal ones, they probably do. Consistent ones, they probably do. And then you get that, few percent, that, you kind of have to have a little conversation, but train your customers, with your business. So that is my little tidbit. Crystal, can you hold your book up again and tell everybody how they can purchase the book from you?
Yes, thank you so much, you guys. It's available on Amazon and Barnes and Noble. And you just search under my name, Crystal Wright-Adams. And actually, the link for the anthology and my book will both come up. So Perversion of Love is the new book that I just wrote. And then on Barnes and Noble's, the cover art is not updated, but it's there. So if Amazon is sold out, because they've been selling out a little bit, y'all. So
Gone, girl. We claim that.
Go to Barnes and Nobles and get it. Don't let Amazon block your blessing, okay? And I really appreciate it.
You're so crazy.
Yes.
Block your blessing. What do you have upcoming? Do you have anything coming up, Jen or Crystal? Do you have anything?
Like I said, I've been just I have a campaign that's coming up. I can't speak on that.
Right.
But I am working, just working on my faith and lifestyle blog that'll hopefully be, finished soon.
Awesome. Crystal, were you about to say something?
Oh, I was just gonna say, just a few different podcasts and marketing things, but I am actually in the process of writing my second book called The Parent Trap. So that'll be out when I finish.
Okay, then. Second book. Excuse me.
I'll let y'all know.
Awesome. And you ladies can type in the comments on how you can, be reached, be followed, so people can follow you as well. I am having a vendor event at my salon to showcase Total Life Changes. It is the Get Rejuvenated wellness event, fair, girl, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, it is June 26th at my salon from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. You all, it is by appointment only, so reach out to me directly if you would like to attend. But yeah, and then our next show is June 24th, where I'll be highlighting another entrepreneur. Make sure you are following the Power Team Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, so you can watch our other shows. We have our founder, Kesha, Dr. Real, and Jay Money on Wednesday nights. We have from 8 to 9 p.m. We have Labrita, that's our real estate guru. She's fourth Mondays from 8 to 9. And then we have a lady that's going to be coming on for credit repair. So if you need to get your life together in credit repair, she is your girl. So make sure you check us out and follow the platform. And we thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. You all have a blessed night. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Robin.
Bye-bye. Thanks, Robin. Bye, Crystal.
Bye.